welcome to Extravaganza 2011. Woo! We are so excited for this training today. Amber and I have had many conversations about all the different things that go on in our clubs and our people's clubs. And are you guys ready to learn how to take your clubs to the next level? We have an incredible afternoon planned for you. You are going to hear from so many people this afternoon on what they're doing to generate business and to take new customers, help them become long-term club members, long-term customers, distributors, all the way up the marketing plan. How's that sound?
Yeah, you guys, we have different examples of all different ways that people bring members into the Nutrition Club. You're going to see different levels of the marketing plan up here. You're going to see 3 fantastic panels.
Yes.
Okay, so we really want to try and provide as much information to you about what's really going on in the marketplace right now with nutrition clubs and daily consumption, and have an opportunity to get those people here on stage really to give you guys the best information.
And here's a club behind us. You're going to see different pictures of clubs today. There's really no right or wrong. Well, there's wrong ways, but there's really there's not a perfect way to do a club. You can make your club your very own. These will be just some ideas that you can do with your clubs. So let's get started. Okay. Maybe. There. Oh, oop, oop, oop. We're way down the line. Let's go back. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, we need that up on the screen, please.
There we go.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
so these are the 7 steps to build your business with nutrition clubs that we're really going to cover today. So number 1, the purpose of a nutrition club. And we're really going to talk, you guys are going to get some good information today about what is the desired outcome of owning and operating a nutrition club.
Exactly, and there's actually a success formula for nutrition clubs, and we wanted to make sure that you knew exactly what that success formula looked like so you can take your club to the next level.
We're also going to cover rules and regulations! You guys, these really are the best, though. They really are to protect us, protect the golden goose, and make sure that we can really keep this model safe for the future. Okay, so we're going to have a panel up here, and we're going to really give you guys an opportunity to see some live examples and some stories of the rules and regulations that are really intended to keep this safe and protected.
How many people in the audience would like to know how to generate prospects and business for themselves? That's one of the things that we're going to be covering in a big way today. Your notes are going to have a whole lot of information on everything that you can do to bring prospects, not only into your club, but if you're working out of your home, if you're working out of an office, all those areas are going to be, we're going to be talking about today for you.
Okay, the building members portion. Sometimes in the nutrition club concept, we speak the language, right, of how many daily memberships, right, or how many services out of your nutrition club. And you hear crazy numbers sometimes. There's some clubs that are doing 10, 20, and crazy numbers every day. So would it be of value to you if we had a panel of people up here that taught you exactly how to increase and build memberships out of your club? Yes, perfect.
And how many people want to build a big royalty check? We're going to be talking about how you duplicate with clubs, how you duplicate within your organization so you can build your royalty checks. How many people want to be Prez Team chairmen and founders in the room? I got to tell you, sitting down in your chairs is not going to get you to Prez Team chairmen and founders. So how many people want to be Prez Team chairmen and founders? All right.
Okay, so success by design. Mary mentioned that there are many ways that are the successful ways to do nutrition clubs. And again, the last panel we bring up, we'll show you some examples of that. So if we can go to the next slide. Okay, the purpose of nutrition clubs. Okay, so if you're brand new in the room and you haven't been to a nutrition club training, take really good notes, write this down. Okay, the purpose of a nutrition club, it's pretty simple. It's called the 3 R's, right, Mary?
Yes.
Retailing, recruiting, and retention. Okay, so retail profits. It's no different than the last 31 years in Herbalife. Right, every methodology that Herbalife has done in the last 31 plus years has really focused on the 3 R's, retailing, recruiting, and retention. And now we just have a building, right? And the building is called a nutrition club. Many of you guys have been doing a version of this, have you not, many of you, for years called an office. So, but the sole purpose of the building is really to increase retail profits, cash in the pocket. Okay, increase sponsoring and distributorships, which increase royalties. Okay, and then a place that increases retention. Some of you guys heard from Des Walsh about the retention numbers, and the Nutrition Club and the daily consumption in the office model is such a great way to increase retention of distributorships.
Absolutely. Let's talk about how nutrition clubs came into being, because it's really important, and we all owe a couple a great deal of gratitude for their vision on what they could do to help their customers. And this is Enrique and Chela Varela. Yes. You know, nutrition clubs actually started with their desire to help and service their customers. Where they lived in Mexico, they couldn't always communicate easily with their customers, so they were sitting in their home brainstorming, what can we do to bring our customers into us maybe, since we can't seem to get out to all of them to see how they were doing. And they actually came up with what became the Nutrition Club concept. This concept today has gone all around the world, and really it came from the very basis of Mark Hughes and what he's taught us from the very beginning. Care more about your customers' success than the money that you earn from your customers. And when you do that, it's incredible what monies will come into you because you're helping other people. So nutrition clubs have grown all around the world, and basically we just have a depiction here of all the different regions in the world that have nutrition clubs today, but we have something in the center for a reason. You know what? The clubs, they look different. They have different makeup. They look different physically within the club. Maybe people are doing some different daily methods of operation as they're generating people into their club. They have different products, right? We all have somewhat similar products, but different names, different things that products do. That doesn't matter. The Nutrition Club model works everywhere around the world because it's based on talking to people, using the products, wearing the button or the Herbalife brand, and talking to people. And what does talking to people mean? It means that 40 presentations a month, right? To get you your 10 distributors, to get you your 2 supervisors. It's those 40 presentations to customers. And really, you get way more than 10 customers when you do 40 presentations, right? So the numbers on the customer side are even bigger than that. So that's really important that we understand it's all about retailing, it's about recruiting, it's about retaining your people, no matter where you do clubs in the world. I have clubs all over the world in my organization, and isn't it interesting? It all comes down to the using, the wearing, and the talking for their success. And that's what we want to share with you today, even more about that.
Okay, so home or retail location nutrition clubs is a meeting space. Okay, so before nutrition clubs, right, you were meeting in your home. Maybe you're meeting in a coffee shop. Many of you are meeting in an office, but that's what it is. It's a home or a retail location where you as distributors meet customers. Okay, it's really that simple. It's where you as a distributor meet customers. It happens to be called a building called a nutrition club. There are so many other things and types of businesses that are conducted in nutrition clubs. You're going to hear so many different examples throughout the course of the afternoon. So many examples that you have been doing for years, and really what we've done is we've taken all of those things and now we do them out of a building called a nutrition club. But just remember, it is a meeting space for you as distributors to meet your potential customers or your customers. That's really what it is, Mayor.
Exactly, and I love that, seeing that all day long, right? Customers coming in and they've got their wow shakes. You guys have wow shakes in your clubs, right? Absolutely, that's how we tested what shakes we wanted. We had our neighbors come, we had different people come, and unless they tasted it and said, wow, we don't serve it, okay? So it's got to be a wow shake. So we've got the customers coming in, we've got distributors, people coming in to look at our business opportunity, we've got distributors being trained. There's so much happening within the club, there's so much activity, excitement, of course the music's going like crazy. It's just an awesome place to be.
Oh, you guys, I was so obsessed with having a disco ball.
There you go.
Right? I was like, I want a disco ball for no other reason, but it's fun, right? I don't need a disco ball, right? It was just something that generated such, like think of the music here. You guys get to an extravaganza and you're on your feet and the music goes wild, and think of the energy and the excitement that that creates in this room, right? So we as distributors in our building called a Nutrition Club also are expected to create that for the customers coming in so that they want to come back, they're attracted to us.
Exactly. When people come in, I'm sure they do the same thing, right? They come in for lunch, and they say, I love coming here because I feel so good when I leave here, right? Because they're getting hugged, they're getting talks, slaps on the back, how you doing, the music's going. I was in the club the other day, and I got to say, we've got a lot of Gen H in the club, okay? And so they've got a little different music than maybe I would choose for the club, right? So the club's rocking and rolling, the music's going, there's all these people in here. I'm thinking, Jake, turn down the music. But I don't say anything, all right, because I see it's all working. Because there's one lady with her 2 kids on the couch, and they're dancing on the couch, right? Okay, then the people are over here in their chairs, and they're being shown the products, and they're tapping their feet, and they're talking and laughing and smiling. I'm thinking, I love Herbalife, you know? I love Herbalife. Okay, so club, let's see, let's go next. Okay, what do we serve in the clubs, Amber?
Right, aloe, herbal concentrate tea, Formula 1, right? It's so simple, right? It's like retail, recruit, retention. It's aloe, Formula 1, and herbal concentrate tea, daily membership.
And we were blowing through so much mango herbal aloe that they brought out what this month? It's incredible.
You guys know what they brought out this month? Here we go! The half gallon of herbal aloe mango concentrate. Which there is a cost savings to that, okay? So in nutrition clubs, at the rate that many of you go through your herbal aloe, if you're using mango herbal aloe concentrate, there is a cost savings for that purchase.
Exactly, more profit. Cool. Okay, talking about club finances. This is a really important thing to think about before you open your club. Okay, sometimes people say, oh, I'm going to open this club and I have all this money pouring in, so it doesn't matter what my rent looks like, doesn't matter what my overhead looks like. That's not accurate, okay? This is a business. And so you have to project out. You have to create momentum in your business, right? We don't open our doors and momentum is created. We have to create momentum in our business, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, how you do that. And that takes time to create that momentum, to create that cash flow so you can pay those bills. And that's why many times people, group together to open clubs so they can do that. Amber, you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yes, when you talk about more distributors in a club, when we talk about why have more distributors in a club, just imagine if a club costs a certain amount of money and you as an individual pay for the expenses alone versus splitting the cost with 2 or 3 or 4 people, what is your percentage of the overall cost if you split it with 2 or 3 or 4 people? Okay, so this is just a general guideline, but one of the philosophies that we have taught is if you could get 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a club, it's easier sometimes for a distributor to get in because it's less upfront cost for them, isn't it? They're interested in growing a check. They're interested in earning income, right? So if we can find a way that they can get into a nutrition club at less expense by partnering with other distributors, we might find that it'd be better or more financially fiscal for them. Not only, that is a little bit more duplicatable. We found in our organization that when we're pitching the language of a certain dollar amount, right, when we first opened our first club, it really was such a reasonable amount of money for the 3 of us to get in our nutrition club. It was so believable when we were doing our Herbalife opportunity meetings that people that were sitting at the Herbalife opportunity meeting were like, well, I think I could do that. Right? It was such a reasonable amount of money because we were splitting the cost between 3 distributorships that it was likely that the people in the audience had a belief system that they could also open a nutrition club. Okay, then when you have 3 or 4 or 2, Mary, people open a nutrition club in our organization, that tended to duplicate. Okay, so we had a club with 4 people open. And it was just so interesting as we would do our Herbalife opportunity meetings, all of a sudden the people that were at the meeting didn't know anything different except for to go open a club with 4 people. Isn't that interesting? Because that's what you did. So they were like, well, if that's what you did, that's what I'll do. So now the clubs that duplicated from the original club duplicated with 3 or 4 or 5 people. And you guys, it is the people that move volume that create royalties. Okay, the people that move volume create royalties. It's not necessarily the number of buildings that you have. Okay, so sometimes you hear the language, well, how many nutrition clubs do you have? I said, well, I'm not sure, but I can tell you how many supervisors I have moving volume, right? I know how many supervisors that I have in nutrition clubs, retailing, recruiting through the building called a nutrition club. You with me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And remember too, don't get so anxious that you don't do your due diligence when you're looking for that building. There's a lot of businesses today that have gone out of business that were smoothie shops, that were restaurants, that already have a lot of the things that you may need in your nutrition club. It's sitting there empty, and you can actually walk in. And I've heard many stories of that. It actually happened to me. I was ready to, get a place, build out, and I said, just one more time, I'm going to go around, and if it's meant to be somewhere, send us there, right? So we're driving around, and we pull up to this place. It was amazing. We look in the window. It's lift-off colors, green, orange, yellow walls, right? It's got the black shelving for products. It's got this counter. It's got blenders, Vitamix blenders with the blenders on there. It's got all this equipment in there. And we walk in there, and the landlord goes, yeah, these people, they left in the middle of the night. They left these blenders. I go, really? He goes, yeah, you can have them if you want them. I'm like, oh, yes. Okay. And I said, well, what about these refrigerators and things? Oh, yeah, you can. That's all part of the lease. You can keep all that, too. I won't have to move it out then. It was like, wow, okay? All that money we didn't have to spend. So if you can find that in your area, great. And if not, you put it together. But just do your due diligence and really look.
And even, Mary, if you can't, you just know that you do have some negotiating power.
Exactly.
I was taught everything is negotiable.
Exactly.
Okay, especially right now with the state of the nation and how many empty office buildings there are. Whatever they tell you isn't necessarily what they're going to go for. Just, you never know, throw it out there, okay, because everything is negotiable, whether it's cost per square foot, the length of the lease. Just feel like you're in the driver's seat and you could negotiate, throw something out there and just see what they take, especially right now in the marketplace.
Absolutely. We need to talk about rules and regulations, so after you've put all this investment, time, and energy, that you're not doing something that makes you close your club. That's really important. And to help us to do that, we'd like to bring out a very important person from Herbalife Corporate International. If you could help us welcome Frank Lamberti. This is yours. You put him in the middle. Sitting here. Frank in the middle.
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you?
What's that you tell?
So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get cool. Bad boys.
You ready for Frank? So we have a great working relationship with Distributor Ethics and Compliance. And Distributor Ethics and Compliance is solely here to protect us. Right,
Yes.
Frank?
That's
we
right.
talk a little bit about, I love the song Bad Boys that they play for you, though, as you come out. I was like, Frank! But really, it is such a great working relationship between the distributors and Distributor Ethics and Compliance that Mary and I wanted to share with you some of the things that we see from a distributor side, from a compliance perspective with nutrition clubs, and then ask Frank to be here to share with you maybe some of the reasons why. So philosophically, maybe you know what you can or can't do, but we really want you to understand why we can or can't do that, because it's really all about the protection of the golden goose. Okay? So it's good. So sometimes we know it's like parenting, right? Which I don't have children, but yes or no. So we get an answer yes or no, but we really want to show a value to you guys, so you really are bought in to the reason why.
And also, it's not just the Golden Goose Herbalife as a whole, it's to this model of nutrition club.
Yes.
If we don't follow the rules and regulations, then there would be a potential that we could lose this way of doing business, and none of us want to do that. So let's talk a little bit about that. You want to flip them or you want me to?
Oh, slide one.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, so what we've done is we've broken this into 5 sections because the Nutrition Club Rules and Regulations Manual that you can find on myherbalife.com is also broken into 5 sections. And we've just highlighted a few things. There are more things in each particular section, but we've highlighted a few things that we want to discuss with Frank.
Correct.
Okay, so first let's talk about where do you receive Nutrition Club training? Okay? Here! Right? We have Nutrition Club Academies that Herbalife puts on. There are, like this, the Nutrition Club training here at the Extravaganza. There are also trainings organizationally. Maybe you're a sponsor. Maybe you're a mentor. Okay? myherbalife.com. Just know that even if your sponsor or your mentor isn't doing nutrition clubs or isn't into nutrition club training, there are so many tools, Frank, right, that Herbalife offers on the internet,
Yep.
as well as nutrition club academies
That's right.
throughout the
Nutrition
nation.
Club tours, yeah.
Correct.
Good. Okay.
And then we can talk about being independent distributors as operators versus hiring employees and the importance of that.
Right, so you know, this is an important point because the traditional business, we've always spent a lot of time protecting the independent relationship between distributors and the company, because sometimes people could have activities that could create risk for everybody else's business. And what happens with nutrition clubs is sometimes it can be an opportunity to blur the lines a little bit. People may wear what looks like uniforms, or they may think that they're hiring people to run the locations. It starts to look like a retail location, and then that protection kind of breaks away. So we really try to spend a lot of time explaining the difference between an independent distributor and an employee.
And part of the way that we do that is the next point, the advisory postings. That they see that, you know, we have the advisory postings of what our clubs are about. We have the banners that go up, this is a nutrition club, this is what we're about, right? So it's really all over the club, and it's actually some of the first things that we do when someone walks in the door for the first time, right? We say, welcome to our nutrition club, you know, and we explain what we're about. We're not like smoothie shops, right? We're incredible.
And the advisory posting can be found on myherbalife.com. The Nutrition Club section under Daily Methods of Operation is so great, right? It's clear and concise, and you want to be sure that if you're a nutrition club, that Nutrition Club advisory is posted and it's visible, right?
And it's visible, and it's not altered in any way. There isn't any business card attached to it, just the way it comes right out of the book or right off the website.
What we did is we laminated it so it wouldn't be curling on the walls and things, and then we put it up.
Right.
Perfect.
Stays looking nice.
So legal considerations, we have a funny story here, Mary. Okay, so when we opened our first club, we're going to have Frank talk about city, state, maybe some licensing, okay, that does sometimes, right, or always oversee the Herbalife rules and regulations. So the funny story is, the very first club that I opened with Brooke Kerwin and Laura Meister, we were open for 2 weeks, and then Laura and I get a phone call on a Friday afternoon, and Brooke Kerwin says, ladies, we have a problem. The Nutrition Club has been shut down. Okay? So, right, I hear Mark Hughes say things like everything becomes a comedy, right? Like, give it long enough, right? And then, like, at that time, it's a tragedy, right? You invest time in 8 weeks and all of this advertising, marketing. We're like pounding the streets, doing personal invitations, and then it's shut down. You know why? We didn't get a health department license. Okay? So, it's funny now. Right? It was not funny at that moment, let's be clear. But it's funny now. And it's the best thing that ever happened to us because we were really certain that we knew the process. So every one of the nutrition clubs that we taught, mentored, and trained, they didn't go through the same thing that we went through. Okay? But there are city, state licensing and regulations, Frank, that we have to be aware of.
That's right. And I think what's important is the reality is you're probably going to go to your local city or county or state, and they're not going to have a box on their form that says Nutrition Club, right? So they're going to put you into a classification that most likely fits the description that you're going to give them. So you can show them the advisory, which describes what it is, and make it clear that it's a membership club, not a retail location. So those types of descriptions will help. But at the end of all of it, I think the most important thing is, however they classify you, you have to understand what the requirements are to operate within compliance of that state or that county. Because you have to manage the perception, because what's going to happen is after you get your license, they're going to follow up with visitors to make sure that those requirements are being met. So regardless of what we say it is, you're going to fit into a box that they have to check, and they're going to hold you to those standards. So just make sure you understand what those are. They're different by city, they're different by county, and just make sure you follow them so that you don't have any issues on the backside.
And they're different by state. I think the very first nutrition club training we went to was completely in a different state. So when we went back to Minnesota and built out our nutrition club, what we did is we built it out according to what we saw in that particular state. Okay, so it definitely varies, city, county even sometimes, and state.
Exactly, and it's important to remember that those health officials will come by without calling you first, and they're going to come by, you know, periodically to check the cleanliness of your club, to check every single part that they have things that they check off that you can see. And remember that people can actually go onto the internet of the city, put in the name of your club, and see the violations that you have had. You will be rated. So it's really important that you really adhere to the rules like we're talking about, that your club is really clean at all times, and that you make sure that you keep your club name in good standing in the community. Very important. Okay. Second set of rules.
Section 2, okay, in the Nutrition Club Rules and Regulations. So Frank, let's just talk about fees.
Okay. So fees are, it's got to be clear when you walk into a club that the fees that you're charging are membership fees, right? And we have kind of relaxed the rules a bit and kind of been a little flexible with how we charge fees, because what we are finding is a lot of distributors had a base fee, right? You walk in the door, whatever your fee is, $4, $5, $6. But if you wanted to add a booster of Nightworks, it was 50 cents. Or if you wanted to add H3O, it was $2. Peanut butter, or $2. That starts to take the shape of a retail location, and that the fee is associated with the product. So you have to try to take a step back and look at the different types of packages that you offer, whether it's a premium one or a general one, or if it's a daily one, a monthly one, and fit what works for you into these boxes so it helps you support the fact that you're a membership club and not a retail establishment if you're inquired on that way.
So that's really important to understand. You are not allowed to do a base shake and then sell 50 cents for this, 50 cents for that, 75 for that. That is not what we're allowed to do. If you decide that you're going to order different types of shakes with different add-ins, then you would offer a basic, premium, whatever you want to call them, but it would already be a grouping that is together that they would purchase for one X amount.
That's right.
Okay. Next thing, club activities and services. Really, it's about being social, right? It's about educating them about our products, educating them about eating better, about being fit, feeling good about themselves. It's about coaching them to have a better life. That's what the clubs are really about.
And you'll hear this afternoon from the different activities that some of the distributors are doing that create more community or more socialization in the nutrition clubs, okay, and more education around nutrition. You'll hear things like weight loss challenges, but there's so many other creative things that people are doing, especially in the fitness world, right? Or to create some sort of healthy lifestyle club called a nutrition club. That's why we say we're a nutrition club, and you've heard Frank and Mary both say this, that we're not a retail store, meaning we're not a retail smoothie store. We offer so much more than smoothies, which is community, socialization, and nutrition education.
Exactly. Buying and selling out of line. Of course, this does not just occur in the nutrition club. This is across the board for Herbalife. We don't buy and sell out of line. It really doesn't matter how great someone's sob story might be to you. My sponsor lived 2,000 miles from me. I did pretty well in the business, okay? It doesn't matter if they think their sponsor is horrible. It doesn't matter any of those things. What matters is this is a very simple rule of thumb in our business with ethics and selling to other people. The question is, did you do something to generate that person's lead to bring them into your business? If you did not, they are not your person. Okay? And so what you do then is the president's team is down here clapping, okay? Because that is the rule of thumb. It's real simple. And you're going to hear more about that over the weekend when we talk about ethics. But it's very important that we keep our integrity within Herbalife. We're opening up these nutrition clubs, and there's many of them in cities. And maybe yours is about, a half a block closer to a customer than another person's. Well, that doesn't mean that you steal that customer, because you didn't do the work in the first place to get that Herbalife customer. What you say to them is, great, you need to keep working with the person that you've been working with. You're going to lose your weight, or you're going to gain, that energy, whatever it is that they're looking for, and they're going to help you do that. It's awesome. So glad you're with us. That's the Herbalife way.
So I just want to add to that, because I think as we've started to engage with distributors who have started to operate clubs, one of the things I think most misunderstood is why a lot of these rules are in place with window coverings and door coverings, because they're thinking in the more traditional sense of marketing, and they're scratching their heads, and we'll talk to them, and it's clear to us within 5 minutes whether they understand the philosophy of a club or if they think they're running a retail establishment. So we've been spending a lot of time on the phone with people to explain, all the traditional methods of marketing that people have learned don't really play with nutrition clubs. And when we tell people, you've got to cover up your windows, you've got to take out, the open sign, and all of these things associated with retail, the first reaction on the phone is, well, how am I going to generate traffic? Yeah. So it's through that socialization, education, and coaching. So
and
that's
we're going to learn that here today.
That's right. Perfect. So we're on our way.
So Frank and his team are so glad you're here, because there's all these people, 3,000 or 4,000 people less phone calls that you'll be getting on how to do it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so membership referrals and incentives.
So referral programs. Nutrition clubs can offer referral programs. You'll hear an example here today where if you have somebody that comes into the nutrition club and you make them a wow shake and they love it and they sign up for a wellness profile, you can offer them referral or membership incentives for them to send their friends and family to the nutrition club. We always teach, offer them a product, right? Offer them some sort of Herbalife product. You guys will hear some examples of some of the things that people are doing today, but that is another great way to get your nutrition club, okay, or get more members, increase memberships into the nutrition club, is it's referral marketing. You find someone that loves the nutrition club, you find someone that's lost weight, they're coming and learning about the nutrition education, and they send their friends or family members in, reward them. Do not be afraid to reward them with some sort of incentive program. I like products.
There you go. Me too. Okay, section 3.
Okay, Herbalife products only. So sometimes we'll hear things about other things or other questioning. Can we do other things in the nutrition club that are not Herbalife? Okay, so I'm pretty strong on this, but Frank, we were talking backstage about the philosophy of this as well.
Yeah, so the importance of what we're doing is trying to not mix jewelry shops with Herbalife. We don't want to mix girdle stores. These are real examples with nutrition clubs, right? We want to have a pure sense of what this is, which is a social atmosphere. The second you try to combine another business with the Herbalife business, it starts to blur the lines about what kind of operation you are, and you can run into problems. So it's really important. All those other businesses are great, just do them in another facility.
And sometimes I find that you have maybe a member, and it's a really good member, and they've lost weight, and maybe they make their own jewelry. Okay, and they say, well, wouldn't it be great if you had my jewelry on your counter? Okay, so one of the two things that I've always asked myself is, does it work and does it duplicate? Okay, so does jewelry grow your check? No. Does it grow your royalty? No. Then I'm not interested. Okay, so it's also a rule and a regulation. Okay, but I just don't spend your time and your energy there either. It doesn't work and it doesn't duplicate.
Exactly. So retailing, as you've already heard several times, we are not a smoothie shop, we're a nutrition club. So it's really important that in your mind you understand that really you're like an office that also is serving shakes, right? Healthy meals. And so then you'll understand, if you think of it that way, wow, I retail products from there, I recruit distributors from there, I train distributors from there, I serve healthy meals to people coming in as members. I do all of those things out of my nutrition club.
Yeah, we always tell our employees when they're talking to distributors, the phrase that you have to say is, our nutrition club operators offer free samples to invited members and guests. And that sums it up. And that certainly is not retailing, that's a club.
And there's sampling, that's what next. And
Perfect.
There you go.
There you go.
So sampling. What we do is people come in and they pay a membership fee, and we sample them an aloe tea and a smoothie. We say, welcome to the nutrition club. You're a member of the nutrition club. With your membership, daily fee, weekly fee, monthly fee, right? We sample you an aloe and herbal concentrate tea and a smoothie. Okay, now let's talk also, Frank, about some of the things that it's not permissible to sample.
Yeah, so you can't sell or sample product that's open, tablets that are open, okay? It's just the products that are available for individual use, okay? So those would be things like your bars and your lift off, okay? But it's really the Formula One, the aloe, and the tea, absolutely.
Yes, good. So no loose tablets, okay? No opening up the tablet box, right, and sampling some loose tablets. We clear on that? Okay, perfect. Good.
Okay, product displays. Per the regulations, we can have one of each product in the nutrition club displayed. So this is not a walk in and pick up something off the shelf and go up to the counter and purchase it. One per the club for displays, very important. Literature. There's lots of Herbalife literature that you could have around your clubs when your club members are in there. You know, I don't know that a necessity. I don't see any reason to have other magazines in my club. I have Herbalife Todays. I have all different kinds of literature that we have in Herbalife that they can pick up and take a look at. And so that's what we do. What about you?
That is all that we do in the nutrition club. In Herbalife, the Today magazines rotate. We'll even take things off of the weekly supplements. If there's an announcement about a new physician, if there's an announcement about a sports sponsorship, what we do is we print that from the weekly supplement, laminate it, and then have that on the counters or the tables of the nutrition club. But under no circumstances do we have any other magazine, newspaper, even television. We have televisions in some of our nutrition clubs. There is nothing playing except Personalize Your Program, okay, the Digestive Health DVD. There is nothing else playing unless it's Herbalife.
That's right. And so the reason that we have this specific rule about having one unit or it not being displayed is because, you know, we encourage you to have one unit of everything that you offer available so that your members can read the ingredients or look at the label and check for allergens or whatever it is that they need to educate themselves about the product. But just imagine that sales tax regulator who walks in the door and you're screaming, we're not retail, but you've got 5 shelves, 4 units deep, it looks like retail. He's going to say, that's probably retail. So you want to just safeguard yourself against those types of situations.
And the only thing I don't want you to get a little fuzzy on, we all have our walls of shame, okay? That's okay to have the wall of shame. It's so disgusting to see that, you know, hamburger and fries that were bought a year and a half ago that no bug has ever come close to or touched. okay, and that is still totally intact. And when people see that, and we have the donuts still in the box, so it has the date on the box, right? Still totally intact, a box of Krispy Kreme donuts, and they see that and they're like, I eat those things. Not anymore. Healthy meal from now on. So that's okay to have that type of thing in your club.
Yes.
Okay. Section 4 is marketing, promotion, advertising, testimonials, and claims.
Testimonials and claims. So really, Frank's going to really give us some good information on this. It is so important. I would highlight this, circle it, and star it, okay? It is so important that we are being appropriate with our personal testimonials, sharing somebody else's testimonials, and any claims that we make about the Herbalife products.
Yeah, that's right. So we have recently engaged with mystery members that are going out visiting our clubs to just review the operations of different clubs around the country. And some of the feedback that's coming back is that there are extreme exaggerated claims either about the products or the business opportunity, or even going so far as making medical or curative claims. Now, this has always been, like you said, an element of the business, but what's important to remember now is that you've provided a forum that's generally open to the public, and anybody who walks in that door, they could be a reporter who's looking for the juicy story, right? We're a huge company, we're becoming really big and visible and successful, and those are the people that these guys are going to go after. So we have to make sure that we're not stretching the truth or making curative claims about either diabetes or any situation, because it's against the rules, it's against the law, and it could really tarnish your reputation very quickly.
And yes, that's important. Good. Thank you.
And I was taught that if I lost about 50 pounds, okay, like when you step on the scale, does it say about 50? Right? Does it say A-B-O-U-T 50? Right? So that I was always taught that if you lost about 50 and it's really 48, be strong and confident in whatever it is. If it's 48, I lost 48 pounds. Right? Same with your income stories, right? If I've made about $1,000, like I'm always like, when you look at the bank account, does it say ABOUT $1,000? No, probably says $995. So I've always been taught that it's always better to be truthful and underperform. Does that make sense? Say it so you really say it with confidence versus exaggerate it and not be truthful, right? And also not feel confident in your statement.
And our incomes in Herbalife are calculated this way. It's your retail profit plus your wholesale profit plus your royalties and your bonuses, okay? So that's the calculation of income in Herbalife. So when you're at your HOMs, if you're putting out different literature within your club, that is what you would add up, and that is what you say. And that's why it's really important when we're talking about our incomes that we don't talk about, what we put in our bank account necessarily, right? Because that's got all the part that's not profit. And that's real confusing for people. If you want your income to sound higher in your testimonial, put into action what we're going to talk about today, and it's going to get higher really fast.
Very good. Take
good notes this weekend, put it into action on Monday as soon as you get back, and your income is going up fast, okay?
Good. Okay, so let's talk about advertising. You're going to see on here, no radio, no television, right? What else do we have?
No newspaper.
And no newspaper. And it's not that we can't do that, but not necessarily to direct traffic into the nutrition club. So we're really talking here right now about the nutrition club rules. So section 4 in the nutrition club rules talk about no advertising that says, my nutrition club, name XYZ, grand opening on the radio, right? We're going to have Frank talk about the reasoning why we don't do that, okay? And then Mary's going to talk about what kind of advertising we can do on the radio or the television, right, or newspaper. But you guys, the nutrition club concept is called personal invitations, right? The nutrition club in the community is because somebody walked out and handed a personal invitation or called somebody over the phone, and it was direct person-to-person contact that informed somebody else about this great place called a nutrition club. So there's really no need, you guys, to actually advertise radio, newspaper, or internet. So Frank, why don't you talk about the reasoning why we don't do that?
Right, so part of the reason is we have to remember that for 30 years we operated without nutrition clubs successfully. We want to make sure that we continue with the nutrition club model in a harmonious way with a lot of the people who may not run clubs. So 2 blocks from a nutrition club might be Susie, who's been operating very effectively, following up with her customers, and all of a sudden her customer walks by one day and your windows aren't covered and your doors are open and she says, wow, there's a club here, I can get Herbalife shakes right here. So we want to protect that. And just going back to what you said about the difference between an advertisement and an invitation, it's just what you said. If you go into a beauty salon, for example, and you want to hand out invitations to every lady or man that's sitting in a chair, and you hand them something face to face, that's an invitation, okay? The second that you leave that stack of papers on the desk at the front for people to pick up, that's an advertisement. So there's a fine line. Invitations, hand delivered to the person. Okay, so that's important. Okay?
Okay, flesh. Okay, so gas station countertops, salon countertops, when you leave a stack there, that is not a personal invitation. That has now become an advertisement. You guys with us? You with us? Say yes? Perfect.
On the other hand, not advertising your club at all, but we've done weight loss flyers for, 31 years, right? So if you're still putting out weight loss flyers that talk about, lose weight, feel great, have energy, call me at this number, that's still fine. It's still fine to do all of those things within the regulations, just not bringing people into your club.
That's right, because we want to make sure that you're providing them the opportunity to first make personal contact before they show up at your door, so you can ask them if they've already been introduced to this opportunity by somebody else.
Thank you. Okay, last section, Section 5.
Last section, Section 5 of the Nutrition Club Rules and Regulations in the manual. Retail and service establishments, which I think we have spoken about that. Is there anything, Kate, that there's a difference that we are not? Well, let's talk about this, Mary, though. Okay. When we say we're not a retail establishment, does that mean that we cannot retail out of the establishment?
No.
No. Okay, when we say we're not a retail establishment, it means when we walk in the front door, we don't necessarily want it to look like a retail smoothie shop. So I want you to picture a retail smoothie shop when you walk in, right? You see a counter and you see a menu, people walk in and they walk out. And remember when Mary and I were talking about the purpose or the overview of what this whole section is about, is this is a building where we do many things: weight loss challenges, Herbalife opportunity meetings, wellness evaluations, nutrition education. Okay, so it doesn't mean though that we don't retail out of the Nutrition Club. And in fact, it is where we want you to retail, right? So when we say it's not a retail establishment, that means we don't want it to look exclusively like a retail smoothie shop, because it's not. Okay, there's so many more things that are done inside of the building. But I've heard sometimes that people don't necessarily want to retail out of the Nutrition Club. Well, we do wellness profiles at a table, okay, and one-on-one presentations at a table all the time in the Nutrition Club, okay, where people walk out with their program.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's all good.
Perfect.
But they didn't go to the shelf to pick it up, right? We had it in back. We had it, pardon?
And put it in the cart.
And put it in the cart. Yeah, that'd be great, right? We just go and pull it in the back from our cabinets and bring it out front and write up on it and getting them going on the products.
Good.
Okay, name approval process. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, so because of my friends up here, we've lived through a painful process, and they've helped educate the company on a better way to help new distributors who want to set up clubs. And we introduced a notification process about 1.5 years ago. When you want to open up a club, all you have to do is let us know. You email us. We have a 48-hour turnaround. We'll review the name of your club against the rules, and we'll give you any feedback if it needs to be corrected or if it's allowed to be used.
Perfect.
And the reason we have that is really to prevent all of you from making large investments in fancy signage or business materials, marketing materials that may use a name that you're really excited about and you've built an entire marketing business plan around that wouldn't comply with the rules. And that was some of the experiences
that would be a good
we had.
recommendation. That maybe you don't start creating any sort of like logos, right, or business cards with the Nutrition Club name on it until it's actually gone through the name approval process and until distributor ethics and compliance has given you the green light on that name.
Yeah, and some of the most challenging and emotional conversations that we've had related to Nutrition Clubs has been around this area.
And we've talked about window coverings and why with the walk-in traffic. Here's a rule of thumb for you. When the mystery shoppers from Herbalife come by to see if you're complying with all the regulations, they're going to take a picture of the outside of your club. If that picture shows that they can see inside that club and the products and the banners and things, then you're out of compliance. So you might want to go home and take a picture of your club from the outside, and that will tell you whether you're in or out of compliance with this rule.
So I'll just share some feedback. Generally what happens on the day that the pictures are coming in for review by the company, the club looks great, the windows are covered, the door is closed, all the signs are down. And then we get one of our mystery members show up, and the blinds are wide open, the signs are back up, and the club is just out of compliance again, right? So that's a little bit frustrating because we know at the date that we reviewed it, it was compliant. So what's going to happen is if we have mystery members that go by, and you have your blinds open, we're just going to give you a warning because we really just want you to close the blinds and follow the rules. But if we find over and over that the second time we visit your club is still not compliant, then we're going to require you to have permanent window coverings that can't be opened so that we can ensure that you're complying and protecting the business.
Very good.
Okay?
Great. Excellent.
We don't expect a third time.
We don't expect a third time.
That's right.
Good. I think that's a good expectation, Frank.
Okay, there you go. All right. So basically, those are the rules and regulations that we wanted to cover today. They're not all of them. So when you leave here today, you're going to be handed the rules and regulations that we have within Herbalife. And we're going to ask you all to look at those, go down them, make sure that you can put check marks by every single one that your club is in compliance, because you want to protect this model for yourself and for all of your fellow distributors around the world, right? We want to have this for years to come to be able to help people within our nutrition clubs. We want to thank Frank for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it very much. Let's give him a hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.